Hi, I'm Scott Wrighton. I serve as Decatur City Manager, and it's our pleasure here at the city to bring you weekly updates on what's going on with your city government. As many of you know and has been reported in the media, Governor Pritzker recently signed into law his new $46 billion budget for the state of Illinois for the period beginning July 1 of 2022 and extending until June 30 of 2023. The governor's budget is 3,400 some odd pages long, but it includes some one-time relief for the average citizen of Illinois and families in the form of one-time, 1 year only relief in grocery sales taxes, in some property taxes, as well as fuel taxes. The governor is responding to the inflationary effects that have been let loose by the federal government's energy and fiscal policies. We share his optimism that hopefully only 1 year will be necessary for some of these changes. But following that lead, the city is also making some adjustments as well. We have ordinances in water and sewer and boat and dock fees that automatically increase with inflation. And so the city council said, wait, 8% increase, which is the inflation for Decatur-Macon County area, is just too much for our citizens to endure, even though we are experiencing significant increases in costs as well, just to provide basic services. So the city council decided that they would pare that back to 2.5% increase in water, 2.5% increase in sewer. And at the last city council meeting, they extended that same pattern to boat and dock fees on Lake Decatur. I imagine that in the months to come, the city council may consider additional measures as they evaluate the situation to provide additional relief where we can, but still do so in a fiscally responsible manner that makes sure that we can continue to provide essential city services. One of the other ways that the city is providing some relief to citizens doesn't involve our fees, but actually Ameren fees. It was recently announced that Ameren is making a large rate hike beginning next month, and so it is all the more important that I bring to your attention a mailing that's already gone out to Decatur citizens from Arcadia Solar. Now, we've had the municipal aggregation program in the past, which automatically kicks in unless citizens chose not to participate. This one's a little bit more cumbersome, and it requires that the citizen actually has to elect to go in to the Arcadia Solar program. But the advantage is that it's 10% below, at a minimum, whatever Ameren's rate is. So Ameren's rate goes up, that's fine, but you're still going to get 10% off of that. In addition, signing up for Arcadia Solar means that you'll also get some rebates that are attached to the first 4 months of billing. Also, again, making it a little bit more cumbersome and a bigger change for citizens is that when we had the municipal aggregation program, it didn't change the billing in the sense that you still got a bill from Ameren and somebody else was the provider of the power. Now you're actually going to get a bill from Arcadia that includes their provision of the power and Ameren's cost to deliver it to you, to have the distribution system that takes it right to your house. So it's a little more cumbersome, and all of that is explained in the mailing that we provided. But this provides a very tangible way for citizens to also bring some of their electric costs down. Last week at this video, I had the opportunity to tell you a little bit about a recent city council meeting where the entire meeting was dedicated to our neighborhood revitalization program. And what I did during that video was I went through like 7 different initiatives that the city council gave the green light to staff to that would primarily improve the programs and the methods we use to revitalize and rehabilitate existing structures, especially residential structures, and to provide catalyst projects that would sort of provide a jump start in key neighborhoods by having a large tract redeveloped. The overall idea of all of these programs is to improve the quality of the supply of housing and other structures in the city, because it's not possible for the city to touch or rehabilitate every single structure. But if we can improve the supply and push the demand up so that they're closer to each other, then it'll make it more practical for investors and developers to make their own investments without the city's assistance. Because right now we have more supply of abandoned structures then we have demand for it. And so that means that that has depressed values and made it harder for people to get a return on their investment. So it's basic supply and demand. And last week I focused on what the City Council is doing to improve the supply, both the quantity of it and the quality of that supply. I want to talk a few minutes today about the demand side. And improving demand is also multifaceted, and it involves the city's economic development efforts, as well as with our key partners in economic development, chief among them the Economic Development Corporation of Decatur and Macon County. It also involves efforts to retool the workforce. But I'm really bullish on Decatur in this entire area because, as you've probably seen, there have been some major new announcements about job creation and building to support the commercial and industrial businesses here in Decatur. In fact, I'll just mention a couple of them. Up in the northeast part of the city, at the junction of Garver Church Road and Brush College, there's a 635,000 square foot warehouse being built. It's the Cardinal Warehouse for an agricultural supplier. A little bit south on Brush College Road is a slightly smaller warehouse being built by FedEx. That'll be more than 100 jobs. We announced last year, and they'll be doing groundbreaking this fall for the Innova Feeds project, another 240 jobs up on Brush College Road. ADM very recently announced a $300 million investment in Decatur, especially in research for their protein production. The project on North Jasper Street that will more than double the manufacturing capacity of Mueller water products is ongoing, and that plant will open later this year. And I can report to you that there are several other projects that the city and its economic development partners are undertaking to add still more jobs. Adding more jobs increases the demand. The more demand we have for housing, the more that we get to that point where demand and supply are closer to each other, and it's no longer necessary for the city to directly subsidize as much in rehabilitation. But in addition to creating new jobs, another part of the demand is recognizing that the pandemic has, in some cases, permanently displaced people from the workforce, and those folks need to retool their skills or do job training in a way that can enable them to move from one type of job that maybe they're not able to get and to go into a different one, and at a training level that enables them to command a good salary. One of the ways that the city is doing that is in its partnerships with Richland Community College, with Workforce Solutions, and we're using some of the space, or plan to use some of the space on the second floor of the library that's not used by the Decatur Public Library for some of these activities. We're going to be moving and expanding the facilities of Workforce Solutions, building additional classrooms in that area, and partnering with the Community Investment Corporation of Decatur, Project READ, and other partners all in that space to use it as a centrally located site where people can go to get new skills so that they can fill the jobs that are out there, but which they may not be a skill match yet for. So that's important for economic development. It's important for providing good paying jobs to people, but that has a direct impact as well on the neighborhood revitalization projects of the city. So that's the short summary of how supply and demand affects the neighborhood revitalization projects here at the City of Decatur. I look forward to talking with you about some more of the projects that the Mayor and City Council are advancing in the weeks to come. Thanks for tuning in.